Hello, friend. How are you?
Good morning.
Hope your day is up and going and started and you're doing well this morning.
We've been up a long time.
Yeah. I think I was up at 4 this morning.
I was up a little before 5,
Yeah.
but
So
it's all good.
the day is underway. It's rolling. And so are we. So I posted the other day on my live about something that took place in 1954 that changed the world.
Just to be clear, neither of us was born then.
Feels like it sometimes.
This is from history.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
So when you think about impossibilities and you think about what everybody says can't be done, everybody says that's impossible. Everybody says that can't be done. In fact, at the time in 1954, up to that period, the doctors and the scientists and everybody was saying it was absolutely physically impossible, that the body could not sustain it, that the body could not run a mile in 4 minutes. Well, in 1954, Roger Banister ran the mile in 3 minutes, 59 seconds, and some odd tenths over there, So it's 3 minutes, 59 seconds, under 4 minutes. When he did that, everything changed. At that moment, history changed, but at that moment, the thoughts changed, the mindset changed. The doctors who had said it was impossible had just witnessed that. The scientists who said the body couldn't sustain it had just witnessed that. And that thing right there, just the evidence of it happening, changed history. And in fact, what it did was it put the possibility in people's minds.
Right.
And within 45 days, the record was broken again. It hadn't been broken, it hadn't been touched for generations. It just had never been
records.
Right.
Yeah.
It had never been broken. And then once it was broken, it only took 45 days for somebody else to believe they could do it too, and broke the record. And then, since then, over thousands of people have actually run a mile in less than 4 minutes. And so the 4-minute mile has become this iconic, this event in history that has given us a whole new perspective on our brain and our mind and what we can do and can't do. And we keep saying it's impossible. And so that story really connected with us the other day. And so I shared that story on my Facebook Live. And we wanted to talk a little bit about that because just even sharing that story had an impact on Robin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I watched your live. It was yesterday.
Yes.
And you posed the question, so what's your 4-minute mile? I'm like, So what's the thing that I struggle with? What's the thing that I feel like is holding me back, or that I want to do but am struggling to do? Those kinds of things. So I started thinking, and it didn't take me very long to realize, because I recently made a commitment to something and I've really been struggling with meeting that commitment.
Meeting it or believing that you could meet it?
Well, yes. Yeah. Because the meeting it is all about believing that I can or can't.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, that's too big of a thing. I shouldn't have made that commitment, is what I'm thinking. What was I thinking? That kind of stuff.
I can't do that. That's impossible.
Yeah, I can't
I'll never
do that.
achieve it.
Who can do that? And then I got to thinking, wait a minute, tons of people have already done this and do this all the time, do this every day. And the thing that is, for me, my 4-minute mile, is that I made a commitment to write every day. And
365 days.
Yeah, for the next year, 365 days, I'm committed to writing and publishing, actually, every day in some way. So, again, I'm thinking, why did I make this commitment? What were you thinking? But yesterday, it really spurred me to think, I can do that. Why not? Why not me? Tons of other people do that all the time. It's not even a Roger Banister situation. It's been being done for many, many, many years. Why can't I be one of those people that does that? The only thing that keeps me from doing it is believing that I can. So when I believe that I can, I do. So yesterday I wrote. It was awesome.
And so I think here's the power of that, though. It's when you get it in your mind that you can't, you've already predetermined your failure.
Right.
You've already set yourself up that's 4-minute mile. I can't do that, and I will never accomplish that because I've already told myself I can't, and our brain goes to work to prove us right.
That we can't.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when you shifted that from, why can't I? I can. Look, all these other people have. Why can't I?
Right.
And then all of a sudden it's like that changes the motivation, it changes the will, it changes everything in there, in the brain, all of a sudden starts to work on your behalf to make it possible. So you start to see opportunities to write. You start to think about things that I could write on. Doesn't mean it's not going to be a struggle.
Right.
Doesn't mean that the 4-minute mile is not hard.
Right. But I think the difference too is another thing that we've learned recently is instead of even thinking of it as a struggle, I'm not struggling, I'm contending.
Right.
And that puts me in a different posture and a different place in my mind and even in my body. When I say I'm a contender, I kind of like I stand up taller. I'm holding my fists like I'm a fighter, you know. I'm going to contend with that commitment. I'm going to contend with that fight to do it or not do it, to stay true to my commitment or not, to follow through or not. And I choose to commit. I choose to follow through. So
think about it in your life. What's your 4-minute mile? What have you been telling yourself you can't do?
yeah.
What have you been saying that's too hard or that's impossible? I want to do that, but then I have these doubts and I just live in the doubt. I live in well, look around. My bet is this. The very thing that you want to do, hundreds of people have already done.
So why not you?
So why not you? What's your 4-minute mile?
Everybody's got one.
Yeah. Yeah. Mine, again, I made the same commitment Robin made. Hers is to write. Mine's to go live every day for 365 days to encourage people. I want to put out some insights, just like this, some insights, and to really be a voice in our community and in our world of positive possibilities. And so I've made a commitment as well. And I got to tell you, I've had those moments when I've thought, I can't do that. That 365 days seems like this. You know what 365 days is? 365 ones. Can I publish once? Yes. Can I publish once? Yes. So if I think about it in 365 days, all of a sudden it's huge.
And overwhelming.
If I think about, can I publish today?
Yes.
Yes. Will I publish tomorrow? Yes. Will I publish the next day? Yes. What's your 4-minute mile? What seems so big that you just are overwhelmed by its bigness? Look around, discover that there's other people who've done it, and break it down to its simplest parts. And live in the belief and the thoughts and the mindset that you can break that. You can break your 4-minute mile. What is it you've always dreamed of doing? What is it you want to do? What is it that has been holding you back? For everybody, it's different. For some, it's weight loss. That just they've never gotten victory over that. And it just seems like, I've tried and I keep gaining it back. I tried and I keep gaining it back. We're working with those kind of folks. We're also working with people who have marriages. I was talking to somebody the other day whose marriage is really, really, really struggling. And it's like they've just given up. I'll never have a great marriage. They've given up. Can you have a great marriage? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. There's many people who've been through unbelievable stuff. Our story in our marriage is horrible experiences of why it should fail. And it didn't. And it's not going to. And we've learned some stuff. Look, what's your 4-minute mile? What is it that is consuming your brain and trying to defeat you? We want to encourage you. And we want to encourage our world. And so we would just challenge you. Think it through. What is your 4-minute mile? And then go for it.
If this is something that resonates with you, I would just challenge you to make a sticky note, a Post-it note. Just write 4-minute mile. Put it on your mirror.
Yeah.
Just to remind you of what you're thinking, what your goal is. Think about, determine discover, if necessary, what your 4-minute mile is. Sometimes I think we don't discover things because we don't take the time to sit in it and think about it for even 5 minutes. I've been guilty of that. I just go to the next thing, and when I stop and think, sometimes I think we avoid that, or we try to avoid that because we're not comfortable there, or we're afraid of the thoughts we might think, or where that's going to take us, or whatever. Take 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, and stop and think today. What's my 4-minute mile? What is that thing that I really want, but I'm paralyzed because it's overwhelming, or I don't believe in myself? Take a couple minutes, discover what that is, write it down, and then go for it.
Yeah.
One day at a time, one step at a time.
So we want to encourage you, and we want to encourage those around you. So I was just thinking as Rob was talking, there's a lot of people that have been stuck in their 4-minute mile, and they've given up hope.
Yeah.
Would you be so kind as to share these videos with them, encourage others, help us spread encouragement, help us spread hope to the world around us? We really do want to make a difference, and some folks who probably could benefit from some encouragement. We would love it if you would like, comment, share, help us make a difference in our world.
Take care. Have a wonderful day.